Welcome back to our workshop. Today I'm working on this Ikea style drawer that unfortunately has just fallen apart. I'm going to show you some woodworking skills so you can learn how to rebuild a drawer just like this.
As a furniture repair business, we're opening the doors to our workshop to show you the tools and techniques to repair furniture.
What I need to do is take that apart, repair it, and put it back together so I can get this chair in working order.
We give you tips to make your repair projects easier. Let's get into the workshop and start fixing furniture.
The reason that I call this an Ikea style drawer is because it would be a flat pack furniture that you would assemble yourself. Now, this has made furniture much more affordable, but unfortunately it's made out of material and constructed in ways that just doesn't last over time. So I'm going to show you how to repair this drawer in a way it's going to last much longer than it originally would. Let's take a look at the damage that was done to this piece. On the front side here, this dowel goes in here, and this is a locking cam, and this cam here rotates into this piece here and tightens it up. So that's what keeps the front on, is just this one piece here, and then there's a dowel here as well. Now this dowel is broken off, and this cam here is actually cracked. So there's been some damage that's happened to this drawer. Perhaps it was sitting out and someone tripped over it, but this isn't going back together and going to hold. On the right side here you can see there's more area that's broken out. This is where the dowel was, and this is where the dowel locking pin is. This is actually broken off right inside here. So again, this isn't joinery that I can reuse. If I remove this, there are dowel pins on the end here. So I might be able to reuse that back, but I certainly can't use these sides. What I'm going to have to do is rebuild sides where I can put this hardware on. These are the drawer slides. So the sides here have to be replaced. In order to properly join a drawer to a drawer front, there needs to be a front here. So I need to build the sides and a front. And if I've got enough material, I can replace that back as well and get the outside of this drawer all put back together. So I'm going to keep the front, going to keep the bottom. I'll show you how I build this drawer here so we can get these drawer slides back on and this drawer back together. I found some 1/2-inch poplar at the lumberyard, and that's the same thickness of the material used in this drawer. So the first step is to cut the pieces down to size. So with these 4 pieces cut, I'll show you about how this is going to come together. What I've got here, these are the sides that are going to replace these, and I've got a front and a back. There wasn't a front on before, and the reason that there should be a front on here is because this fastener in here, there's a lot of pulling action on a drawer. So the fastener's always getting pulled. If I put a front on here and join it this way, with fasteners this way, then it's a lot more rigid and able to stand the test of time with the pulling force on the front. So the front goes on this way, the back goes on the same way, that's the way it was before, and that way the fasteners go this way and resist that pulling. So I've used solid wood here instead of particle board, which is what this is. Solid wood is something that's repairable. If it splits, you can put it back together. Particle board, as soon as it splits, it's just garbage. So I use solid material only, and that'll help make sure that this drawer is going to last a long time. These new boards are almost ready. I just need to put a groove in them so that the bottom can be recessed in there. Now a groove in woodworking is called a dado, and that's cut on a table saw. If you don't have a table saw, either ask a friend to do this or find a local woodworker that can help you out with the project. The normal height for cutting wood is setting the teeth just above the surface of the wood, but here what we're doing is lowering the blade so it's about 1/3 of the way in the material, and that will be the recess for the drawer bottom. Now if you stand up the side and put the bottom in, you'll see here that there's a lot of play in this old piece. Now the piece that I just milled with one saw cut, I put this inside, you can see how snug that bottom is. There's virtually no play at all. So this is going to help add strength to the drawer. I've got the back here with a new dado on it, and I'll slide that on to the bottom. So that's now in the groove, and then the side, same thing. There. So there's the new drawer structure. Now what's new in this is putting on this front section here, and it's got to go in between these sides just like the back, but I now have the bottom that's too big, so I have to trim that to fit, and then this box will come together. So with the bottom cut, it's all ready to come together. Now what I'm going to be doing is gluing and putting finishing nails in to pin these together, and then I'm going to put one screw in. Now, I don't normally like to see screws in work, but this is the side, and there's a runner that goes on here. So what I'm going to do is position the screw in that is hidden behind here, and that way there won't be an obvious screw in the joint on the side of the drawer here and here. Now what I want to do is sand these before I put them together. So you see there are almost stripes across here. These are planer marks. So when the wood goes through the planer and the plane comes this way, it's taking pieces of wood off. So you want to sand that so that you end up with a nice smooth surface like this, instead of a finish where you're seeing these lines through it. It's much easier to do this before you put it together, so we'll do that now. So all the parts are sanded now. As a woodworker, I build these drawers a different way, but I'm trying to do them as simple as possible so the average person can tackle this project. What I'm doing here is putting the bottom in first on one side, and then what I'm going to do is glue in the ends, the front face and the back face. So the key thing about glue is making sure that you spread it evenly across the joint, and don't use your finger because our fingers have oil in them and that can weaken the glue. So there's one side, there's the other, and I just use an artist brush on these. They're relatively inexpensive but really good for spreading glue. So this now goes in the groove. And this side goes on. Okay, now there's a handy tool that helps to line all of this up. There are these clamping squares, and it's just a matter of putting it on the outside here, putting on a spring clamp, and your parts are lined. I'll leave a link to these in the description of the video. They're really handy. So I line this up here, and then to make it simple, I'm just going to use some finishing nails. These are 1 inch, so they'll be 1/2 inch into the wood. And just to prevent splitting from the end here, I'm going to pre-drill a hole. So that's there, and then this one up here, because of this clamp, it's already in the right spot. So that's why I like these so much. It helps with aligning things when you're not working with someone else. Okay, so that's one side. I'll flip it over and do the other side. There we've got a nice solid box. I don't really like to rely just on nails, as I said earlier. I'm going to put one screw in each side here. That just gives me extra security that this isn't going to come apart. I don't want to see a screw along here, so what I'm going to do, this is the old side, that drawer runner needs to go here, so I'm going to put the screw in where this drawer runner will cover it up. Now when you're working with furniture like this, it's probably measured in millimeters, not inches. Yeah, so this is 1 3/4 inches, almost 45 millimeters. So all I need to do is measure 45 millimeters up the side here. And then my screw can go right there. Now before I put the front face on this drawer and the side runners, I'm going to seal up the wood with a wipe-on polyurethane. This is an easy finish for beginners, very difficult to mess this one up. There are some places where you shouldn't use that though. If you want to see our video on beginner finishing recommendations, I'll leave a link to the video below. So let me put the coat of finish on this and then we'll get to the front. The finish on this is now dried, and I've rubbed it down with superfine steel wool, so it's got a nice smooth finish. I've looked at the front and the back to look for the best part that I want to see in the drawer, and I've decided this is the back, so this is where I'm putting my label. I put my customer labels on here with the repair number, so I've got that for warranty information. I'm now going to move to a padded surface to protect that new finish that I've got as I do the rest of the work. Now in particular, I don't like to see nails like this in pieces, so what you normally do is use a nail set to set these below the surface, but you can also use a finishing nail. So this is a 1.5 inch, I used a 1 inch here, so the head's slightly larger, so you just need to put the head on top of that nail and then tap it with a hammer to get that recess below. And then what I can do is come along with my filler. This is a wax filler stick. And just work it in. Just rub it down with paper towel, and from a distance, it'll disappear. Now, for me to install the front of this drawer here, what I need to do is first of all locate it to make sure it's exactly in the same spot as the old drawer. So I've got some dowels here. This one was broken off previously. And here's that locking hardware. So if I put this back together, it goes this way. So with that in place, what I can now do is mark where to put the drawer face. So I'm going to use masking tape to do that rather than put pencil marks on. Just line it up here. And then what I need to do is mark the top surface as well. Right there. So now I have the location for this drawer. I've marked this side too, so the next step is to take the knobs off, and then we'll get the drawer lined up in the right spot. So what I want to do is clamp this on here in the right spot. So this is going to come here, and I need to clamp that on so that what I can do is drill holes through here and here to lock that drawer in the right spot. Now the old screws, when I measure them, are 1 1/4 inch. So because I'm adding 1/2 inch of material on the inside, I need 1 3/4 inch screws. Now I'm also using flathead screws, so I'm going to countersink this so it'll be flat on the inside instead of seeing this head on the inside of the drawer. These nylon runners for the sides here just come off with some screws. And then they've got dowels through here as well, so it's just a matter of pulling those off. Like that. So because we're putting this into solid wood, I'm going to cut off these dowels here, and then we've got a nice flat surface to put screws in. Now we just need to locate this in the right spot and then drive in screws through all these spots here. With the screw in the screw hole here, now what I need to do is drill holes through here, and I've just put a tape flag on here to give me a depth so I don't drill all the way through to the inside of the drawer. And then it's just a matter of driving the screws in. If you found some of these tips useful, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help other people find this video. The key to making sure you can repair an IKEA style drawer is making sure that you've got structure at the front here and it's secured from the sides and not the front. That way when people are pulling on this drawer, it's got lots of strength there to last for years to come. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, click over here and click on the bell icon and you'll get notified every time we release a video. Thanks for watching Fixing Furniture.